I guess we'll open up the meeting. All right, the audience participants and general public should be aware that any or all portions of this open meeting may be recorded by audio and video resources. Although some of this meeting may be broadcast periodically by WRPS or other outlets. The person who wanted a DVD copy of this meeting should contact WRPS or the Board of Selectmen's office. A small fee will be charged. All right. All right, the first thing on the list we have is 2 buds at 53 Airport Park Drive. We had a slight oversight that we technically didn't vote on the design review of the building. It's an existing building, and they did email, many emails. We got a copy of what they were doing to the exterior of the building. I believe they were putting barn boards on the sides, down the side where the split rail fence was abutting the neighbor, and across the front they were getting rid of some of the overhead doors to close up the entrance and everything like that. I cannot remember what color the barn board was going to be. So if Grover or somebody could jump in and just tell us what the material is going to be. Is it actually going to be wood, or is it,
Yeah. Sorry, this is Jill Sparks. I can answer your question.
Okay.
We haven't yet priced it out or bid it, but we're intending to use reclaimed lumber. So, antique barn bird siding comes as sort of a gray board or a brown tonality. And the intention is to overlay the southeast corner sort of up to our retail section. It showed on the BKA drawing A-2, which I think was issued to in December, just in that section, and then on the east side up until the peak of the gable, not the full facade. Just enhancing that corner where our retail operation will be.
Okay, and all the rest of the siding is going to stay as is, or just patch where needed?
We will infill the loading dock doors and other things with existing panel, and we'll paint the remainder that's not covered with the barn board. And again, we haven't picked out the final wood selection, which will vary from a gray to a brown, and the paint color will be in that sort of muted range. Where now it's yellow, it will go to a darker color.
All right, does anybody on the planning board have any questions?
Not I, Mike.
I'm all set.
I'm all set.
Randy's good.
All right, if it's okay, we'll take a vote, and just when you do pick out the materials that you're using, the reclaimed lumber or whatever, and the paint color, can you submit it on a copy of the plan or something like that to the building?
Bring you a sample of the paint color and the range of the barn board that we'll be using.
Yeah, just so if you can email something over to the building department or something like that, so it's on record with all the other stuff over there, so when they come in to inspect everything, they know what they're looking for.
Okay, so when we issue for our permit set, we can also issue the paint color selected and sort of a range of what the barn board will look like.
Yeah, that's fine.
Got it. Will do. Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Can we have a vote on that?
Make a motion to approve the design review with the condition that the chairman just said.
Randy will second it.
I'm in favor. Charlie?
John's in favor.
Jared is in favor.
Randy?
No, I thought I seconded anyway. I'm in favor, sure. I'm sorry.
We'll make it official so you're on record. And Mike Corbett, I'm also in favor. That's the vote. All right, sorry about that, little confusion on that, guys.
It happens. Thank you very much,
We
everybody.
appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you all for your time. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Take
Have a
care.
great night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda, we have the design review for the new elementary school on Lieutenant Colonel Duffy Way. Does anybody have any questions that need to be answered? All right, I just have a couple things. You're redoing over the entrance at, where the school comes in and, to Colonel Duffy Way. Is the road being moved closer to the neighbor's property?
Can answer that one if you like, guys.
Yep, please.
Yep. So it's technically not being moved closer to the neighbor's property. The neighbors have encroached upon the public way. We have sent diagrams to the town manager, town administrator, and Rich Penny, diagramming the survey locations and demonstrating what changes are going to occur within the right of way for their notification to the abutters. The abutter to the right of Division Street is aware that he built a fence within the right of way that's outside of his property. The abutter to the left of Division Street, I'm not sure he realized when he paved his driveway recently that he paved it within the right of way. The abutter at 204 Reed Street, there's a fence there we're relocating, but there's nothing there that's going to change their property other than that. So we have advised the town where there have been encroachments upon the town property, and that was something we had discussed with Doug Lapp and Rich Penny a long time ago. But it's not working within the abutters' properties.
But the road will be still on town property, but then a little further, closer to the neighbors than.
Yes, closer than it is today.
Okay, I was just looking at that. I'm like, it looks like it's moving. Maybe it's not totally to scale.
No, it's moving.
Getting closer onto the town property because it's not being used.
Yeah, that's what happens.
All right, I have another question. I know some of it was addressed with, from Pat and everything like that. For the lights that you're proposing to put in on the streets and everything like that, you have the photometric layout there on the light spillage. What lights are you using? Because I couldn't find them in the plan. So how can you show your light distance and everything if you haven't picked out a light fixture? Or has it just been omitted?
So we have picked, it'll be an LED light fixture, but I believe the fixture we're specifying as the basis of design was used for the photometrics, correct, Chris?
Yeah, I'm just pulling up that plan right now. I believe we do have some fixtures identified.
Because I was flipping through the pages on the prints I have, and I didn't see the typical light fixture listed, like how high is it or anything else like that. So I'm like, how can you pick a light spread when your fixture isn't picked?
Yep, so we have selected a height. Mike, I don't know if you can talk to the height of the fixtures. We have both streetscape as well as pedestrian.
I'd be happy to. Sorry, I was trying to pull up some stuff here too as we're speaking. So we have we have basically 3 different kinds of light fixtures. We have a 20-foot height LED fixture, sort of what we call in the business, like a box fixture, although they're not shaped like boxes anymore, really. They're really slim profile now, LED fixtures. Those 20-footers are predominantly in the parking lot, and they're along the northernmost roadway where the visitor parking is, facing towards the site, of course, with cutoffs for the properties to the north, and around the back of the school where the bus route is. Then we have a series of 12-foot lights that are more pedestrian scale lights that are the same fixture, just on a 12-foot height pole. And those are down along the walkway down near the football field. And those are also located in that middle median at the front of the school between, there's the, like I said, there's the row of pavement where the drop-off parking spaces are, and then there's a row of pavement right up against the building where the pull-in spaces are. There's a row of lights in between those that are 12 feet tall. And then at the front of the building, just strictly as ornamental features and also interspersed throughout some of the outdoor areas, we have something called light columns, where those aren't meant to disperse light for the roadway. They're not safety measures. They're more for pedestrian scale stuff, and they're more aesthetic, and that's why they're at the front of the building. So those are the only three kind of light fixtures that we have, aside from wall packs.
Okay, when you actually have the fixtures you're going to pick, if you could just submit it.
Yeah, we have them. I'm not sure if Chris has picked them.
Yeah, I mean, so on the C601 site lighting photometrics plan, we do have a description of the lumen of the fixtures, but it's like a model number, and I agree it's not very, it's difficult to see what company it is. It's a model number, but it's difficult to understand which company it is.
Yeah, if you could just send something over, so
Sure.
we can, just for our records, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And
We
just
have the information, we just don't have it at our fingertips right now, Michael.
I know how that is. And when do you plan on picking out the color of the concrete? Because I noticed it's in a different couple areas, in the play areas.
Yeah. So the concrete, I think as we're moving through the design more and more and trying to marry all the exterior spaces together, I think at the outdoor classroom areas, we're thinking of moving away from colored concrete in there and just using typical Portland cement colored concrete in there, the same as what we're doing at the playground and most of the other common areas. And in the courtyard too. So we want to try to get the same vocabulary of the ground plane treatment in all those exterior areas. So rather than having some with colored, some without. Right now, it looks like the only location that's going to have colored stamped concrete is at that main entrance. Okay, and that's going to be concrete as well. It's not pavers or anything. It looks like paver. It looks like a paver pattern on the plans, but that's just a stamp. So it'll probably have like a brick stamp or something, because the building's brick.
Yeah.
And that'll probably be a little bit darker gray than typical Portland cement concrete. And that's the only colored concrete that we're going to have on the project, I think. We're just trying to simplify things a little bit and keep everything looking the same through all the spaces.
For the play areas, is that going to be that synthetic surface material, rubber or anything? Is that going to be?
Yeah. So where the play structures are will be poured in place rubber surfacing that you see typically in most playgrounds, right? Thickened in the fall zones for it. And that'll be probably either 2 or 3 different colors, and we'll have a pattern to that. There'll also be play areas, parts of play areas where the kids can just kind of run around and have free play. That's going to be a synthetic turf, different than the synthetic turf at the football field, because the football field synthetic turf is made for attenuation, for fall heights and stuff like that. This is just a regular, more standard synthetic turf for kids to be able to run around and play on. And then there'll be small areas of bituminous pavement too for them to play basketball or foursquare and stuff like that. So it's really 3 materials in the playground areas. I take that back. Three materials in the south playground area. Only 2 materials in that smaller north playground area. The north playground area is strictly resilient rubber surfacing and synthetic turf.
And you don't have the colors picked out yet, or?
No.
not
That's
yet.
something. Go ahead, Lauren.
No, we haven't picked them out yet. That's something we typically work when we're working on what color the equipment's going to be, so that we're
Okay.
not too garish with the equipment. So
We'll own a certain amount of colors in the specs, so the contractor knows how to bid it out, and we'll tell them what the mix is. Sometimes the mixed color is 50% black, 50% of color. And sometimes we'll go a little more color than black to make it pop a little bit more. So we'll tell them how many colors we want to own, and then we'll pick the colors from the standard colors, like Lorraine said, once we've got everything else figured out.
Okay. What else do I have here? Have you picked out what the raised planters are going to look like too, that were kind of in the, I don't know, the work areas in the back, or is that something?
That's still a work in progress. We've gotten some feedback on those saying that they prefer less planters than more because of maintenance. They don't think from a long-term maintenance perspective that people are going to keep using those planters over and over again. So what we're doing now is we still need an enclosure there. The idea was to use the planters and some type of fence to create an enclosure there without it just being a fence and making the kids feel like they were cattled in, you know.
Right.
So we're working on a redesign of that where they'll have less planter area, but they'll still be programmed to that fence so that it draws the people out there and the kids out there, and it just doesn't feel like an edge condition that's sort of trapping them in.
The trees in the front of the building, how far away from the building are they? I know that area is only like 12 feet, so what do you say?
Yeah, so we're using, you know what, and this time.
Because I'm just going over time, like how big are they going to be?
They're you can Google it if you want. I can try to pull it up. The trees that right at the front of the building are a tree that's called, they're sweet gums, but they're called slender silhouette sweet gums. Liquid, I won't give you the Latin name but they're slender silhouette sweet gums, and their maximum width at full maturity is probably 5 or 6 feet wide, and then they get 25, 30 feet tall. They're a really narrow, upright species that gets a really beautiful maroon fall color, we chose it because we don't have a lot of space there, but we do want to get some green in front of the building. And that we chose them for the really nice maroon fall color because it's going to complement the color of the brick really well. And then the understory plantings, the ornamental grass plantings that we have underneath there is something called little blue stem that turns a really beautiful blue and purple in the fall too. So there's a lot of color marriage of the building and the landscape. Those trees are super, super narrow.
Yeah, I'm just worried as it matures, if it spreads out, it's
they don't.
The building.
Those and the ones in the medium are also what we call fastigiate, really narrow plants too.
Right, I get one of the last things I had. Looking through the interior of the building, like how many janitor closets do you have? I saw one on the second floor.
I'd need to count it.
It seems like a long way for the guy to be cleaning up the school and all the classrooms, especially with COVID going along, when there's only one janitor closet for the whole second floor.
Mariana, can you answer that?
Yeah, well, right now that we have one in the second floor and we have 3 in the first floor.
Because I was looking at it because one's located, it's not center location for the guy to be cleaning up everything. And there was an area near the art room that you had an open space looking down onto the first floor. I don't know for what, but you could make it into a janitor's closet or something.
So whenever that's an open to below, and if we add in floor there, it creates net square footage. So we are limited by the MSBA on net square footage. But I do think that, we will look at opportunities to get a second janitor's closet on the second floor.
Yeah, because even on the first floor, they all seem to be in one side of the building, you know what I mean? Just trying to.
They have so on the first floor, they have their large work area as well out near the loading dock. So that sort of diminishes because that's right next to the cafeteria. Which is one of the, the large areas where they need a lot of, and then And then they're spread. There's one for a double pod and the other one is for the double pod. So I would agree. I think the first floor is well covered. I think the second floor needs a second janitor's closet.
I will look into it. I have a couple places where we might be able to.
All right.
Okay.
Where was the elevator located off the top of my head? I don't remember.
It's
Right by
on the
the
north.
front door.
And is it wide enough for them to get the machine in there to clean the floors?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions?
I agree with you, Mike. I think if we can find another location or another janitor's closet on the second floor, that would make
Yeah.
things a little more efficient.
Yeah, that was actually a very good pickup on your part, Mike. I wouldn't even have thought of that. But when you're there working, it's going to be an issue.
Oh, it's going to be a big issue this year.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, the second floor, where the location of the janitor's closet is actually a mother's room on the second floor. So
Yeah.
that was previously a janitor's closet and got changed to a mother's room. We need to find a new home for another janitor's closet.
Yeah, just trying to look out for them.
Yep.
That's a long way to bring everything around,
No, I appreciate it.
especially when everybody's probably going to be cutting budgets and everything else, and they expect it to be clean. Do you have anything, John?
No, I don't. Not right now, Mike, anyways.
Randy?
Nope, I'm all set for now.
Is Pat still here? There he is. Pat, do you have any concerns?
No concerns. I know that they emailed a response package to my letter that I had sent out on June 2nd. They emailed that over this afternoon. I went through their responses, and they've addressed all of my comments. There is a new plan, photometric plan in that response, Mike. So they do have all the fixture model numbers specified on that plan, as Chris Racine was mentioning. And I believe I had forwarded the Gill & Associates traffic peer review report to you as well. And, Jack pretty much said that he was okay with what they were doing there. He thought they did a pretty good job with their traffic report and the intersection improvements and so forth. So I think at this point, from the engineering side of things, everything's in good shape.
Yeah, thank you, Pat.
Pat, do you think that all of the water problems, I know we had water problems with the middle and the high school and such. I believe it was mentioned at our last meeting that they pretty much picked up all on that. I think Rob Rosa at the zoning meeting had a concern about a pipe that was going to dump out and flow down to the baseball field.
Yeah, so that pipe is going to capture runoff from the properties on Lower Reed Street that will be to the west of the access road that goes out to Lower Reed Street. It's just a sub drain that's going to capture runoff from those properties so it doesn't get stuck back there and cause puddling on those properties, because that parking lot for the high school will be raised up a little bit. So it's actually put in there to assist those neighbors. I don't think it'll be a huge amount of flow that will be coming out of that over in that direction. The water now flows in that direction. And the only time that it should flow is when it's raining out, when the field wouldn't be being used anyway.
Okay.
All right, I have another question. Up near the football field and everything, like the entrance there's going to be a concrete pad for a future shed. that I suppose the Parks Department will put on over there. Will it be conduit or anything run over there in case they need power later on, so they have access to just run wires?
Yes, yeah, we run an empty conduit out there, just in case, for lights and whatever in the future. So it'd be an empty conduit that's stubbed up in that concrete pad.
All right, and that concrete pad's gonna be poured with the school, or is it the line's just gonna be subbed?
Poured with the school.
Okay. Do we have any questions or comments from anybody in the audience? Does anybody know Janet that's up on the screen?
That's me. That's my wife's computer. Sorry, I'm Chris Emilius, a traffic engineer. Sorry about that.
All right, I just see somebody up there.
I was wondering when somebody was going to ask about that. Sorry about that. It's really Chris.
It's okay, Chris, Janet, whatever you want to go.
Mike, this is Randy.
Sorry.
We talked about the buses coming around the back. I'm the bus guy. When they're coming out, did we stop them from coming across the front of the building and going straight out onto Reed, I believe it is?
Yeah, we've updated the plans to reflect that.
Beautiful.
Does anybody else have anything? All right, how does the board feel?
I'll make a motion to approve the design.
I'll second. That's Randy.
All right, we'll go through everybody. All right, John?
I agree.
Charlie?
I vote in favor.
Jared?
In favor.
Randy?
In favor.
All right, I'm Michael. I'm in favor too. Pat seems to be satisfied. Everybody's positive on the traffic study. Christy, have we received all the forms back from everybody? Police, fire, sewer? You're muted still.
No,
No, we haven't received everything back yet.
not everything, no.
Would that be, so those forms would be for a site plan review, right? Or is this, so I guess I know there was last month about a site plan review.
Well,
And I know
they usually have comments if they have a problem with the plan. That's why I'm just asking.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because everybody checks off on it.
Right. Are we still going to, so I know that it was represented to the applicants at a previous meeting that a site plan review would not be necessary. And then at our last meeting, this board had indicated we might do one. Where does that stand?
According to Bob Galvin, we don't need one.
Okay.
I think, Mike, he sent it back to Tom Rubel, decision as to whether he wanted it to go to a site plan, and as of yesterday morning, Tom had not made up his mind.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess we're just trying to make sure that permits don't be hindered in the process. I don't want Tom to, wake up tomorrow and decide he wants one, even though we don't need to do one. And like I said in the email I sent to you guys, where it was represented to the applicant that one wasn't necessary several months ago, to now want to require one several months later seems a bit unfair to the applicant, especially when all parties involved were represented at that meeting several months ago.
I think the letter came back from Bob Galvin that was up to Tom's discretion, and Tom is very much aware of it. He wanted to see where the report from the zoning committee, which was last week, I believe, they went to the ZBA, and Mike's report, and then he'll make a decision. I don't think he's going to drag it out very long. I can't speak for him, other than I did ask him about it yesterday morning.
Pat, did you have a comment?
Chris, I know you wanted to talk to Tom. I don't know whether he did get in touch with you or not. I left you a voicemail yesterday as to what his comment was.
Yes, thank you, John. I did get your voicemail. I didn't hear anything back from Tom.
So I think he's just waiting to see what we do tonight and see the report from the ZBA, which I know they passed the variance that you needed on the parking, the size of the parking spaces.
And just so this board knows, we've been having safety and security meetings with fire and police, first responders. We've been coordinating with them the width of the roadways, the turning radius. We've done auto turns for the fire trucks. We've coordinated the location of the fire department connection, the wall indicator valve, the Knox boxes. We've talked about the egress. We've settled on the door numbering for the fire department. So we've actually had very active meetings with the fire and police about the security sequences as well as the access and fire prevention around the building. I don't know if it helps. I just thought it was for information.
Thank you. Pat, you had a comment?
Yeah, just so you know, when I reviewed it, I was reviewing it for both boards, actually all three boards, the planning board, zoning board, and the conservation commission. So when I reviewed it, the comments that I had in my June 2nd letter and the review that I performed was as if it was a site plan review project. So that if for some reason somebody thinks that they do need it, the engineering review's already been done. And they've satisfied all of our comments.
Thank you, Pat.
I know Tom Rubel at some point about inside of the classrooms having the room numbers and such put maybe above the door or someplace in there so that if you got a teacher or a substitute teacher and something happens, they know exactly what room they're in. I assume that has been taken care of.
I haven't previously heard that comment, but that's an easy thing to take care of.
I thought it may have been at the initial meeting, but at any point, I know he's been very much aware of that. Should we have some kind of a lockdown or something and you got a substitute teacher in the room, that they know what room they're in.
Any other concerns? All right. All right, we made a motion and everything, right?
We voted too,
All
so
right.
I think we're all set.
So I say we go forward, just with all the conditions from the zoning with their decision in there, which I said on the Zoom meeting, I know everything was approved by zoning. They'll just have to write it up. We'll put it in our files, and as long as I'd like to copy of the forms back from everybody else just for our records, saying they have no problems of it. I know you've been coordinating with everybody, but it'd be nice to get the paperwork back. All right. All right, we voted on that, Christine. You got everybody?
I do.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
When do you go to conservation?
June 23rd at
That's
7
right.
p.m. And it will be a virtual meeting. However, some members of the Conservation Commission, I think, are meeting under special
hall.
circumstances at the town hall, as they requested that from Doug Lapp. So.
But our team will all be virtual because there's a limit to the 10 people. So.
Yep. Well, good luck going forward. Wish you luck with conservation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Pat.
All right.
All right. All right, what else we got? All right, we have approval of minutes from May 18th meeting.
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
All right, I'll go through it. John?
Yes.
Jared?
Yes.
Sally?
In favor, yes.
Randy?
Yes.
Michael, that's a yes. All right, we have minutes from the May 26th meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second, Jared.
All right. John,
Approve.
Jared,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Michael, that's a yes. That's a vote. All right, we have to pay the secretary for the meetings from
Yes.
May 26th and tonight's meetings, June 11th.
I'll
Motion
second
to
it.
pay.
Hey, one at a time.
Keep it up or you won't get paid.
Who made the motion?
I think
No.
Randy
The
did.
guy who makes the motion every month for you, Randy.
Thank you, Randy.
Well,
I'll second.
Thank
thank
you.
you.
All right, John,
Yes.
Jared,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
and Michael, that's a yes. All right, upcoming activity. I don't know. I haven't really heard much going on. I know there's a sign up on Hingham Street where they want to put up some 5,000 square feet of retail that John and I met with the people there, but they
I
haven't-
think that's going to zoning board in the next meeting or two meetings, Mike.
Okay.
I think I saw that go through for them.
Yeah, because I said I haven't heard anything from them, and I don't know when they were scheduled for zoning, you know.
Yeah, I think it's the next meeting or two.
And that's basically all I've heard. Have you heard anything, John?
I did hear from the engineer on that daycare that they want to put on Hingham Street, that
Yeah.
they're still planning on going forward on that, and that they will probably be coming to us within the next month or two at the most. And I believe Wendy's will probably start working again within the next 2 or 3 weeks.
I'm surprised they haven't started already.
Yeah, I was surprised. I went by there today and I'm surprised they haven't been.
Yeah.
Although the fence is down in the front, so maybe they have been in there getting things set up again.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything? All right, we're gonna schedule a meeting, probably be another Zoom meeting for the 23rd of
Yeah.
June.
Yes.
That way we have some invoices that have come in. We'll probably have some more. That way-
Sorry, go ahead, Mike. I'll let you finish.
That way we can just have a short meeting and pay some bills, because as of now, there's nobody else scheduled for it, you know what I mean? So we'll just pay some bills to keep everybody happy.
It's probably a smart move because it'll keep everything within this fiscal year.
True.
Not having it dragged over, so it'll probably be a pretty short meeting. Because you won't have time to advertise much of anything anyways. So it probably works out good. We'll keep Chrissy busy. She hasn't got enough to do as it is.
I know, right?
Has anybody heard from 365 Concord Street? Have they made an appointment to go to zoning or anything?
They've requested a butters list that they picked up yesterday
Okay,
for zoning.
so is he gonna try to go through it as a 40B, or is he trying to get the variances? I don't, you know?
I'm not sure. I thought, didn't it say like they might not be able to get those variances, so they'd have to go for a special permit for a 40B?
I think that's what Pat Brennan put out there 3-4
Yeah.
weeks ago. I haven't heard anything further on it.
No.
Because I think, didn't they, Mike, in our initial, when you and I met with them informally, they said they did not want to do a 40B?
That's what they said. They did not want to do a 40B, and it was one of those things like you can ask for variances. That doesn't mean you're gonna get them granted. You know. Now it's be up to zoning to get some of the variances. You know.
So I understand they had the meeting last night, the ZBA, with the new 40B down on Pond Street behind Home Depot. And that's going to take a while to go through. They're looking to bring in 10 feet of fill on that property.
Wow.
Wow.
So that plus a 5-story building on top of the 10 feet of fill.
How does that affect your neighbors?
I guess the one or two that were there weren't very happy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either. That's going to affect some drainage.
Yeah, I would think. Good thing it's a 40B. It doesn't come to us.
Yeah.
You said it, not the rest of us.
It will be interesting.
All right. Anybody else have anything?
Were the town meeting, so somebody told me the town meeting articles we did last month were pulled.
Yes.
Is that true?
Right?
And they got pulled anyway.
Yeah, the FEMA articles got pulled, right, Chrissy?
Yes, they did.
Good thing we spent all that time on there.
Yeah, that was a nice hour at least, right? I was like digging deep into the archives of my time with Senator Headland to be somewhat knowledgeable on it too. All that for nothing.
Does anybody know why it was pulled?
When I talked to Michael Laughlin, he had mentioned I think that we did manage to get a map update extension. There was definitely something broke in favor of the town that no longer necessitated us having to pass those at this town meeting. I know he told me that much.
I know I got flood maps for 2020 in the office, so I don't know whether that had any bearing on it, but
that might.
Yeah, might have. Or it's just practice for next year when everything comes back.
it's probably practice, Mike. We don't have enough to do anyways.
I mean, who knows? There's a good chance with COVID, the federal government decided to extend it. But whatever it is, it's no longer necessary, thankfully. So.
Yeah, I was just told that FEMA pulled the plug.
Well, they might not have the funding either. I mean, that thing is federally backed. So, one of the things I recall that happened often was it would constantly be on the brink of not having the right amount of funding too. So who knows?
Mm-hmm.
They may just figure it'd be easier to level everything off for the year.
Mm-hmm. I just found that out yesterday.
You're in the loop, Billy.
Yeah.
Right, and town meeting is what, the 22nd, right? And it's
22nd, I believe, yes.
And it's actually going to be there.
Yes.
Up at the high school, I know they sent out an email sometime yesterday to the department heads looking for help to space people 6 feet apart, I guess, every third, fourth chair. I don't know. But at least you don't have to get up and speak this year, Mike.
No, right? And they still need a quorum, right? You're not slacking on
Yeah.
that.
No, we still need a quorum, yes. And there's 53 or 58 articles in the town meeting, plus 11 on the special town meeting.
I bet you'll get a quorum with people wanting to get out.
It'd be nice if they get a quorum, but I guess they're asking everyone to come in early so that they can get everybody seated and spaced out and such. And then quorum's 150. tend to think they might be hard pressed to get that.
You know, they might, if people come in groups, you know what I mean, they can sit together.
Families can, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And Charlie's gonna be there taking everybody's temperature.
Nice.
Yeah, it would be nice if somebody told us that officially.
Well, that's what the word went out, said that the fire department will be
I
there.
know, I saw it. We heard nothing about it.
Don just told you.
My goodness.
Yeah, the fire department will come in wearing masks and everything else to take your temperature.
Yep.
Well, I
What's,
might have to go now.
It'll be like
what's this
just going
mini
to,
pumper they're getting?
it'll be just like going to work. I get my temperature taken every day.
And they're getting a new truck specifically for Charlie, a mini pumper.
I will not comment on that either.
Come on, Charlie, you gotta play the game a little.
Yeah, he's not biting. All right, if nobody has anything else, I guess we'll seek a motion.
I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All right, we'll go through it again. John,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes, in favor.
Jared,
Yes.
Randy.
Yes.
All right, and I'm Mike. I say yes. All right, good to see everybody.
You too.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Thank you.
See you on the 23rd.
I'll see you
Yes.
tomorrow.